I recently spoke about the problems in aviation in Russia. I spoke harshly. Clearly, I like that people didn't go into throwing and shouting mode, leave us alone. It's not like that, but they said, let's just get together. And we'll fly, we'll see. We gathered in large numbers, there was a large delegation. That is not for my sake. I just jumped there, went to the factory to find out if there is Baikal. No, Baikal is closed, the project is not closed. Who is doing this? Why did the state build such a program? Why such a plan? What is behind it? What is the need? How is it done? What is being done? What else? Well, first of all, I have to say that Baikal exists, it flies, and it will have questions. There are questions. At the same time, they are fundamentally important. The most important question is this: do we want that we had our aviation industry or not? If we want to have it, then we have to take risks, then we have to educate new generations, and what we didn't like was that the guys who went to the factory, both developers and people who work to come up with particularity. The participants are young people, 25, 35, their eyes burn, they are fans, they understand that not everything works out for them. They understand that they are on the path, sometimes trial and error. They understand that part of the competence that was the great school of the Soviet Union is unfortunately lost, but if they are not restored, then it will be gratuitous. But we are still a great aviation power. We have huge territories. We need to do it through trial and error, but you still strive to do it. And this desire, it already deserves respect. Not everything turns out smoothly, not everything turns out quickly, but faster than was accepted before, and I expect that the important thing here is, of course, a conscious policy. And number one, Deputy Government Writer Mr. Mantra and all his teams, what?
If you don't do it, it won't happen.
So work. Save every penny, track every penny, but work, work and work, then you will have your own fleet of cars. At the same time, what is very important is that naive notion that we have had aside for decades, that we will buy engines, we will buy Mavennik. We'll create our own blades and propellers. This dependency is a thing of the past. And it turned out that if necessary, we can do it ourselves. In short, watch. You feel a sense of joy and pride in the fact that there are young people who are trying, who are doing, and who have the future behind them.
We are now following the repair route. This means the engine stops on the platform. This is the disassembly area. Here the engine disassembles, well, 5 and 6 tons of dry mass, but the thrust is 23. But when they tortured him in winter, that means I saw how he gave out 26. It is at a temperature of minus 24 degrees at the entrance. That's it.
Hola loves Hola.
As much as Hola likes gas turbine engines from the features, then in general this is what it is when we started, and it began in 17, which means that we located all repairs until 18 were located in an area like this. That is, there was disassembly, assembly and defecation and completion. But taking into account growth.
Order.
It became evident eventually.
Enough or maybe just sufficient?
Those squares in the old ones were impossible. When we started doing this program, the group of 100 people had an average age of 28 years. This is not real. We are in the defecation area, which means that this engine is, they disassembled it there, then washed it there and brought it here. Here people watch, which means they take every detail into their hands.
Check the data and
they observe and align with the technical specs. Hence properly aligned.
Precisely what I'm doing now, yes, that is, everyone needs to watch it. And here it is.
Yes, absolutely right. Each look at determine in the future the corals of the details can be started for repair. The part can be launched into in-depth repair with restoration. And the part can be rejected, a lot of production preparation, a lot of equipment. This signifies multiple tools, including nozzle blades. The medium pressure turbine posed major challenges.
Shoulders are crazy problems.
A significant issue now resolved at Rybinsk Motors in Saturn after intense effort and ultimate success, making the engine's hot section fully functional.
That's not a problem, let's just say.
But it was a breakthrough, as I understand it. It's generally here.
They are installed, that means.
This is called turbine support. This means that there is also a high pressure turbine, a medium pressure turbine there from different sides. Well, such a fairly serious node. My boys designed a little tax. All the technology was designed by my boys. Then we married designers who design buildings and structures. Well, it turned out something you can blame. This process is very interesting, one of the types of non-destructive testing methods. Note the name signifies exclusion of Germans, Italians, or Spaniards, or Chinese. This is our homeland's achievement. It's real progress, team.
The guys from Peter. Well, these are handsome.
Automated installation of this control that is correct for NES.
We're in control here.
Comprehensive details concerning the presence of surface agents are meticulously uploaded here.
Yes.
We conduct degreasing. This comprises every step that the food undergoes throughout the detailed process.
The recipe is special. We open the doors, everything goes and everything happens automatically for us. The whole process will then be compiled in detail and carried into the camera, and we will look at it in ultraviolet color.
Does that mean it's completely cleansed here?
Indeed, it effectively flushes the liquids that infiltrate the cavity to produce the desired effect.
Have you seen it before?
Then we have detailed fluid and we...
That is, when analyzing a person, you need to drink contrast fluid, yes, so that...
Probably the most interesting thing. This means that this setting is that there are several processes here.
Artificially induced or stimulated?
Yes, I set the optimization button, I clicked on it, I will enter it, and then I receive. This is another means. The copy is interesting means. Also one of the types of non-destructive testing, which means that magnetic testing here is magnetized in detail, but if it is made of a material that can be magnetized, it is poured with compension, with suspension, which means small particles of metal. Here the metal penetrates the crack and the crack becomes visible. This is also a domestic manufacturer.
What did you do before that?
I've spent my entire career here since graduating from the institute, primarily as a technologist and later as director.
This is considered homeland.
I've been at this plant for 25 years, actively involved in balancing and pruning processes. This means that this is such a narrow thing that no one has ever tried to compete in the market, but first of all, this market is small. Yes, secondly, this balancing is very highly specialized.
Fun.
Here all the rotors are balanced separately and as a whole. Well, this is the final part, which means the process, the reassembly. And this assembly directly means that this is the site.
After initial assembly behind the racks, it moves to the final assembly section. That's essentially the process.
How much time is required for this?
Well, we're out.
Engine announcement.
We've finally come out to address an issue that involves considering the production of a specialized repair group kit with its manufacture lasting approximately 5 months, specifically built around the engine setup.
Well, how much can you be at work at the same time?
Moving now, T2.
This particular line is primarily intended for Rusland, yet intriguingly it holds the potential to be repurposed for a variety of other applications upon closer examination.
Whatever, naturally.
Any engine can be serviced here
Naturally.
because we don't have more than a Ruslanov engine.
At present, this is the largest engine in our production lineup. However, with technological advancements underway, any necessary repairs or infrastructure can sustain future manufacturing demands. Ultimately, once all requisite equipment arrives, this section will specialize in creating versatile pipelines to support the repair process, enabling us to handle approximately 700 units annually. Lines all bends are made automatically, which means that this is very correct because it is impossible to manually bend the pipe in such a way that there is no corrugation. The corrugation is tension. The tension is to refuse here. With the positioned response means the part of the pipeline that will need to be used on the product. So we take the ones manufactured by the pipeline, insert it, and it should be without any there, which means there accordingly it should be. Yes, the nut should tighten freely. If so, then go ahead.
This section is bent using this car, correct? Yes, yes.
This section follows nomenclature as per the program requirements.
Well, somewhere around 1,000 for two, probably.
That is, these are exactly the different angles that...
Yes, and here we are. Right now we are making tubes for aircraft. That is, we not only provide engines, but also aircraft production on our tubes. We call it the center.
Prototyping that.
There is, when development is underway, something they need to redo the parts very quickly. That is, the design has been introduced to the part during testing. Something doesn't change the design, and the traditional method of manufacturing there, casting or stamping, is a long period.
Actions on the RA printer.
Yes, this is under 90 casting forms and blanks. This means that this ceramic seal is all that concerns the rods when the internal cavity needs to be cast in detail. This is this group of ceramic printers at the output. Here's something like this. Well, that is, these are injectors, fuel nozzle devices. That is, this is a future casting, this mold. It will burn out, leave the internal full, then there will be an elevator.
All that comes next is printing.
Metal and...
What is the material?
Authorities.
The plastic is impregnated with wax further so that it does not stick to the mold. Here is the ignited model, that is.
For example.
The impregnation solution combined with powder primer forms a filament, essentially a wire, used for fixture tooling purposes in various industries.
It's a sun mold.
That is, there is no need to be wise there at all, yes. That means you make such a form and fill in the whole process. That means it is the form of life for you. It is not, it is one product.
This is one product.
One product, yes, I'll show you. Then this is what happens. From this form, this is specifically the input to VKE 800, which is even better than 3D printing.
What this signifies is a segment of the K800 motor that stands out due to advantages over analogs characterized by its innovative centrifugal wheel mechanisms. The process concludes with a full stage design adorned with intricate patterns that prevent disruptions in the pressing workflow. Once the air flows into the chamber at the perimeter, the system achieves efficiency.
From a manufacturing perspective, it's absolutely essential and worth exploring in greater detail.
Where is this engine used?
We are currently developing this engine, actively engaging the engine division, and have previously made significant strides in its design.
Yes, which is used where?
UTS 800 Baikal symbolizes innovation, commitment, and excellence in aviation technology.
Which had to be earned when, for the Baikal project, it became clear that the check engine was not given completely correctly.
In general, it completely simulates the operation of the engine as at the opening of the aircraft. That is, it passes here. Preliminary tests, when it comes, we install it, check the quality of the repair assembly, debug it, configure all the parameters of UGU. We identify any major defects, eliminate them, prepare them for work on the aircraft.
That is, this engine that we had to make to replace the Czech one, yes, that is, here they have to drive it for how many hours?
This prototype has already completed 170 EU800 hours of operation, showcasing its reliability with a reserve capacity that extends up to 30 0300 hours. There's an exciting possibility of his sibling engine successfully taking flight from the Advanced Flying Laboratory based in Novosibirsk. The flying laboratory engine presently has a remarkable resource allocation of 30 300 hours, signifying a robust capacity 3 times the standard reserve, aligning perfectly with aviation standards. This means that this modification with P, which will stand on MT with 800 in order to
This means flying according to the program of Baikal there, for example. I still have to drive it away according to the resource program 170 Oetanta with a threefold reserve in order to give modifications from M30 rotary honk. So, and if...
What's off for a week?
Well, of course not.
Or should I?
It activates as per the program specified there. What is the longest permissible work duration at this stage?
A single 30-minute cycle involves completing a total of 180 rotations, equating to extended periods of operation.
They stopped board.
In 30 minutes.
Yes, on.
We stopped to watch.
We flew further, stopped when from this 170-08 on. Can you really get through in what period of time?
That's 90 hours. That is, it's about months, a month and a half. Where?
This is 90, this.
We look with examinations.
On 3 months, well.
That is, we have already passed this stage.
Riots erupting in just 30 minutes of tension.
We simulate the flight cycle. That is, the plane took off, landed on average. This is 30
minutes. And to what does it turn out that we have? No. The least favorable operational condition for the engine is the frequent start-stop mode.
Yes, that's absolutely true.
Yes, we need to increase the number of these cycles. Yes, that is, we need to take it.
Assume we flew, landed, and did nothing further. It wouldn't matter to anyone.
Yes, that is, it is not important for you to enter working mode, and yes.
Yes, that's right. Ignition units for T, activation of LNG technology, and progressions are actively ongoing.
The oil pressure is rising.
Engine running.
Startup time, the normal pressure in the cavity of the well is increasing in the interview.
Here, the primary indicators reveal slight vibrations across different shell structures, necessitating further observation.
5 minutes on mode.
One this Alexandrovich handle serves to illustrate with greater clarity the slight increase in small gas presence above, but it's worth noting the purely functional circulation of the compressor revealed by low cavity pressure and minimal screw pitch.
But it's not taking off yet, is it?
It's not, it's still a baby, small gas, and now you need to warm up for 2 minutes, and then you need to go out, you need to run.
Everything.
According to the sound, listen, I don't know what yet. We warm up and go out smoothly.
It's preparing, it's amazing.
Now we are going through a reception with vaginal tests today, that is.
You already have him?
I was fully prepared to bring it in, but opted not to dismantle it, leading to the tests being conducted.
But what we said, it's already launched, right?
Indeed, he conducted tests meticulously, 200 at 0600 and 260 at 0606, totaling an overall negative output of 180 at 0600.
So pilot calling court of this station.
The engine is ready to smell. Now we will climb the remote control and start, which means that it is noteworthy here. Well, as I said, this is the largest stand today in RF closed.
What's the difference between what we saw here, wherein...
Essentially, the same air volume is pumped with a specialized Irkutsk measuring system monitoring the engine performance in all modes. A remarkable gas turbine. Additionally, its nose design incorporates water usage.
3-compartment car.
Extensive national work backed by significant assistance.
The engine will naturally, and this means that there is a reactive suspension here. This is the most important thing, which means the engine.
Is this the engine from that?
Rusankan, model 44.
Who's the pilot? I'm a pilot.
Well done.
How long do you have to land?
We don't count.
Honored pilot.
Well, almost yes.
No, well, yes.
Even from my perspective, it remains entirely closed.
No.
So everything is for sure to me.
You really have to take it slow and move carefully.
There's not enough gas.
So this is the new one. Development means that the textbook is also educational. Airplane.
Our offspring jet.
Accordingly, the response to the cabin, the front rear seat design, the front cadet is installed, the catapult seats they install themselves. The last moment of UGU Pyrotex and Sport is completely domestically developed.
It's very outside.
Together with Natur Ležíček on the development of the VK800.
There was a bridge and modifications. Oleg said yes.
Yes, that is
with one.
855 important versions that keep on the face of days of money overload. That is, this is in principle one glued manned all-composite aircraft of Russia. Before that, unmanned aerial vehicles were made, including 10 minutes, yes, great experience on.
Remarkable visual appeal, indicating a potential breakthrough in the advancing future of drone technology.
Right, yeah. Indeed, drones are increasingly accountable for ensuring safety from every perspective.
And when you design an airplane, you rely on some kind of experience with a prototype, that is. How to approach? Well, it would seem that road. Generations have passed, and after the Wright brothers, what else is there to come up with responsibility? That's what I thought.
Here.
I wanted to be like what?
Well, I wanted to make a plane that would be enough.
I understand that. Well, did you think that I was who I was, Mikoyan? I was Gurevich, I was Lavochkin, that is, who is for carb salt. Yes, there.
Well, at least.
Yes. This is what we observed during the T-tests with the 800. Here's one flight sample 1-to-1, including some preliminary factory flight test programs arriving soon.
Always with that head.
Come on.
Predatory. Cool predators.
Trade. This is one takeoff trial, followed by 2 flight trials, and concluding with 3 flight trials. Meanwhile, we are performing static tests in Moscow to ensure reliability.
The aircraft LMS Baikal was created to replace the morally and technically obsolete aircraft N2.
Effectively configured with cutting-edge modern domestic equipment, it now showcases its own independently designed sample for evaluation. Own design chairs.
The onboard electronic defense system was fully developed domestically, while the aircraft's engine is an imported design, offering a balanced international collaboration for now.
Chief Designer. Flight tests at the initial stage revealed issues with longitudinal stability, needing adjustments to the wing's installation angle. Furthermore, concerns arose about the aircraft's sensitivity during operation, leading to necessary refinements. A change in engine thrust resulted in a turning moment UGU. Accordingly, the angle of installation of the engine was changed. And that is work on 1.
Carb.
No, well,
Went to the room.
you had to turn on your headlights, yes. It was especially felt when you were moving, when you were doing nothing.
Can't you see that?
So that's it. As a consequence of the chosen landing gear scheme, any aircraft with a tail support is forced to have large parking angles, otherwise the risk of capturing is high, which means a small climb to the ground of the propeller. What is visible for such equipment? Here you go.
That is.
So when he flies in, he was.
It flies on the horizon, moreover, at the regulated speed. During takeoff, the pilot carefully elevates the tail wheel, shifts from the horizontal position, persists in the intended trajectory, and finally departs, swiftly leveraging the main wheels.
It turns out, that is, he turns out to have a steering wheel?
Yes.
I like what she came up with.
Especially proud. Tell me that I can participate in the plane, which is, well...
There is, this is what this is, but this is a special angle for me that came out straight.
And it's hard to say, honestly.
You should have known that, but only I could have come up with such beauty, these shoes.
No, there is no such thing.
This is your one?
Well, as the chief designer, yes.
The main thing...
The course has been filled with anticipation, concern, and calculated efforts throughout.
Well, of course.
Yes.
Championship, yes, of course.
Please.
Presentation, I hope.
The first explorers of this aircraft means that I am the head of the Aerokin Fleet Alliance. We do aviation work. These contributions are unjustly underrated within our nation due to their emphasis on safety and environmental benefits. Normally, we employ 2 sections at present, but advancements have been attained. In essence, we possess unwavering confidence in this aircraft, as affirmed by my colleagues, directors, and esteemed collaborators with decades of industry expertise who scrutinized and lauded this progressive aviation milestone. Undoubtedly, its potential is indisputable. Besides, we are ready to help.
But you at all?
Opinion, even one copy is too early to use on takeoff transportation. But this is the best for the aviation industry.
Well, yes, our phone number is up to 200.
The puppet is speed.
Speed was decrease.
How much does it cost to solve?
Faster, great.
Height.
Altitude 3000 is the upper oxygen threshold.
Love the range.
This range accommodates 9 passengers, achieving an impressive 1740 kilometers at 45 units efficiency.
When do you come up with when?
The plane is born.
Tell me, this is how it happens, especially since you had, as I understand it, to enter a project in which there were shortcomings. Yes, that is, it had to be corrected.
Create a concept plane.
Ideal.
What task he should have?
Decided by the VC.
The primary tasks of this aircraft involve ensuring transport accessibility for smaller, underserved regions effectively.
Low population after.
Passenger flows are stemming significantly from this dimension, leading to motor operations.
Is it possible to position it virtually in any location you choose? They will definitely be able to get to everything.
Yes.
And judging by the glider, if he could plan anything, of course, well...
All of a sudden, any plane can plan.
To be exact, no. Its structure distinctly mimics that of a corkscrew-like pattern.
Well.
You see, they can't.
This one.
Could be special problems, right?
And health clinic.
In the field of necessity.
He can... How much did he raise?
Throws into maximum takeoff.
The weight there is packaging.
Landing 1240.
275, yes, meters.
Meters matters.
Yes.
Oh, you see the heat.
Are you able to locate it? In other words, his altitude limit is approximately 345, yet it's important to note they aren't aerial thieves by any means, just as an example.
That is it with a reduction in communication?
This.
Usually.
Different.
I think interrogations will be carried out. They are